Hi, today I'm going to show you how to add auxiliary and or Bluetooth to your existing retro factory Ford stereo. This is 10th generation F-150 with a tape deck. We've also got same generation CD player, and we have on the bench a 7th gen F-250 radio only unit. First of all, you're going to need a set of these or any simple set of Allen wrenches or similar utensil. The way these work is in the dash, they slide into these holes here and push these tabs, and you just slide it into the hole and then you push the tabs in and slide the unit out. Next, you're going to need a set of Torx bits to disassemble the unit. This is a T10. It's going to fit some of them. Okay. So remove that one, that one, that one, that one frame, that one. This is the tape deck. Oh, looks like that is a T, smaller than a T10. You actually are going to need quite a small bit. This is a T8. Okay, this is the tape deck. So tape slides in. It connects to the main board with this harness connector right here. Just like that. So here's the set of soldering joints you want to pay attention to. I've used a stripped HDMI cord from a cell phone charger, which is going to have 2 power lines and 2 data lines. Got a black ground, red power line, white data line, green data line. And you're going to want to connect the one wire to the ground and then choose a wire for left and right channels. You can just make out the L right there, just make out the R, and the ground over here. And that will run out to either your auxiliary cable if you're wanting to use an auxiliary cable, then you're gonna have to strip, some old headphones. And if we're talking about headphone cable, then and you'd have something. If you have something like this that has 2 wires, you strip the wires, and one has a channel going to the right headphone and one has a channel going to the left headphone, and you have a common ground for both. And in this case, the right was actually a blue coated wire, and the left was green, and then the microphone was red when the microphone is not used. So you would connect blue to the right channel, red to the left, and the bare wire to ground. And then you have an auxiliary cable. Which you can then run to your device of choice. One final note about this setup is you're going to have to use a cassette in order to play your Bluetooth or auxiliary device. Let me show you how that works. So we have the auxiliary cable coming out of it. And now we have a Ford factory harness replacement going to some speakers. Basically, it's just going to plug into your factory harness, so you don't need to worry about, you know, what color all this is, or you know which wire goes where. You just plug it in. And let's get the second device. Okay, so in order for the auxiliary to kick in, you gotta put in a tape. And then as you can see, it's coming through the speakers. And once I eject it, I'll go back to FM. Now, you can continue to play tapes if you just unplug your device. Then you have there you go. Tape that's actually rewound. But then plug it back in. There you go. So that's how that works. it is the same idea with the CD player version. The only thing you have to be careful of when you remove the CD player, there's a ribbon cable that connects to this connector and this connector. So this is the orientation it goes into the CD player in. It's like this, and you gotta be really careful not to tear the ribbon connector. That's actually what I did, and fortunately the CD player is broken anyway. The lens, the CD reader itself is shot. But the way it works is on the CD player we have a ground, another ground, and we have left out and right out. So the same thing applies. Those are your 3 connection points, and that will allow you to connect an auxiliary cable. Oh, and of course you will also need to be playing a CD in that setup too. Okay, so here's the analog 1983 F250 stereo. No CD player, no cassette, just FM AM radio. If I flip it over, I've cut out a portion of the case to access the pegs on the volume potentiometer. So this is what turns it on and turns up the volume. These 4 solder joints in a row here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the volume potentiometer solder joints that we are interested in. The 4th over is the bass and treble. We're not worried about that. 3rd over is input, left and right. 2nd over from the right is the output to the amplifier, and then the 4th is the ground, or 1st over from the right is ground. So we want to connect our left and right channels. I've got a red wire and a black wire to the 3rd over from the right. I've got a red wire going here and a black wire going here. Ignore this black jumper wire. I've got it going from the FM signal wire to the amplifier input post. It's just jumping it. Normally there'd be a solder joint between those two. Yeah, so if you want your auxiliary cord, that would be the left and right channel, and then the ground can go somewhere on the chassis of the stereo. Flip it over. What I've actually got here is a Bluetooth receiver, which runs on 3.7 to 5 volts. So I've got my wires coming from the potentiometer going to right and left, and the positive and negative power wires going to a so this serial, the name of the thing got scraped off. Let me go get another one. Okay, this is an L7805CV, really inexpensive. It's like $3 for 5 or 10 of them or something, and it converts 12 volt to 5 volt. And the way it works is you have your 12 volt power source on the left hand peg, and then ground in the middle, and then your 5 volt output on the right. So the 5 volt is going to this Bluetooth receiver, and you can use a mini USB, micro USB input as well, going to a cell phone charger, which are also 5 volt. So you don't want to get one of those little chips. You can stick, one of those car cell phone chargers into your cigarette lighter accessory power unit thing. Run it to your Bluetooth receiver, and then plug in your audio to the headphone jack, and you don't have to wire anything in permanently. You can just use this little Bluetooth receiver with an auxiliary running to your stereo unit. So let's demonstrate. I have this old unit getting adapted to my 10th generation factory harness setup. And when I turn on the stereo, got radio and the speakers. And when I flip this switch, I actually need to plug in that quick. So now I turn on the Bluetooth, it powers on, I'm connected, and I think I will connect my other. Okay, so the Bluetooth is powered on. It's called XYBT Mini. If I turn it up on the stereo, so now going back to radio. I know they're both piano. It's confusing, but that's how the analog works. It's the same idea as an aux, only I have this Bluetooth device. It's just left and right channel and ground. And yeah, so that's how you can. Just FYI, if you are interested in getting a Bluetooth device like this, I do recommend this particular one, the XYBT Mini. It doesn't have any obnoxious connection or disconnection noises. I say that because the first one I bought looks almost identical, right? But it's the JHBT. And there's almost no difference between them. The only difference is in what they flashed to this integrated circuit here. The JHBT goes, you know, there's, I don't know if some of you might have bought in the past have bought a cheap Chinese Bluetooth speaker, and when you turn it on, it says, you know, the Bluetooth device has connected successfully in like a Chinese accent, and it's unnecessary. And the XYBT Mini just goes beep. It's all you need, you know. Much better. And so when you're shopping for this on eBay, it's about $7, and when you're shopping for it, just search in the description as to what it describes as its connection noises, and you should be all set if you're interested in that. So that's about it for putting Bluetooth and auxiliary on your old Ford stereo units. Have a nice day.